Hi, Dave here, and today we're going to check out the work of Betty Jiang. She's a concept artist slash illustrator based in Orange County, USA. California! So she does have a different, she has two styles, I would say, based on her ArtStation portfolio. Her more earlier works they're a bit clean, a bit more stylized, and it's not the type of artwork that's for me. It's just a bit too clean. I'm more of the impressionistic type of person, so whenever I see slightly textured stuff, it just appeals to me way more. Thankfully though, it looks like she has a few posts here, but each post has a couple of images in them, so yeah. And by the way, Betty does have an Instagram, and I found one interview of her with the Level Up guys on YouTube. So I will link all of the relevant links in the description below, so no worries. And she also likes to use traditional mediums. She's pretty good with graphite, and she likes to actually fill up the entire sheet of paper. And even I'm guessing she has a bit of an anime lane just because of her proportions. They're a bit, obviously this guy is European, but you can tell by the eyes, it's a bit anime-ish, right? But just slightly, not too much. But what's so cool about his work, if we go back to her ArtStation portfolio, especially with her more recent works or pieces, she likes the color yellow. I mean, I like yellow, but she's more of she likes golden yellow, which I've noticed that she likes to go back to that kind of golden type of yellow. For me, it's more bright, saturated, almost very, very close to yellow orange, but for her, it's kind of a golden kind of thing. I'm not sure what that's about, but yeah. And she has a very interesting style, especially with her more recent work. She likes to really use the pencil-like strokes, even when she does paint. Obviously digitally, you can still see her use that pencil-like type of shading in her work. And yeah, so I'm guessing that's because of her graphite skills, so it just naturally transfers to her digital painting works. So we have more dogs here, very, very cool. And I like seeing the graphite texture from the pencil. And again, she likes to actually fill up the whole sheet of paper. It's not just kind of a drawing in a white background. I believe she was studying Ray from the Evangelion, right? I think this is the Ava 0 or Ava 1. Ava 0? Ava 1? Fuck. I love the series, or the series of films. I haven't watched the seasons of it, but even till this day, I don't fully understand what's it about. I mean, I do know about the angels and shit, but it's kind of religious in a way. But it's so hard to kind of comprehend. But look at how refined that is. This is a pencil study, and she did fill in the entire background, which is pretty amazing. Did she? Because I feel like the strokes are a bit different. Maybe she did do something digital with this. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, the way she did even the folds for the tight kind of latex fabric or suit of Ray, right? It's pretty impressive to see. Same thing for the mech, the Evangelion mech here. Looks awesome. Great study. And she was able to, incorporate this nice value range, so it almost looks like an actual painting, and it's less of a sketch. I mean, you can still see it has that kind of sketchy feeling, but it has a bit of that refinement in it, like a classical kind of drawing. And she does lean more towards fantasy types of concepts, like mythology and stuff like that. Very girly, I guess, types of concepts. Not very heavy on the sci-fi, war-centered. More about not spiritual, but ethereal, maybe angelic. It has the same feeling as Peter Moher Baker, because because he does like a lot of angels because of his Angelarium thing project. Here you can see more of that yellow, that golden type of thing. And she does use, at least as she mentioned in one of her posts, that she does use like a variety of brushes to achieve this kind of look. And her work does have a bit of that classical look to it because of the way she does the lighting. Even the way it's composed, it feels very classical, like a classical oil painting. And there's this nice, she does lean more towards the realistic type of rendering, not very stylized, and you can see this nice, very, very soft gradation of values. It's not like a gouache type of painting, right? It's less flat, it's more textured, more formy, very, 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 very realistic. And again, the yellow here used is a bit of, it's kind of a golden type of yellow. Yeah. And I think she does photo bash, add some photo textures to save time. Now this one, she actually does have colors for the like pigeon colors, like actual pigeon colors. They usually have, or at least some of them have like a green and purple, right? But again, she likes to add this kind of golden yellow thing. Maybe she has a thing for royalty or princess, like prince, king, queens types of concepts. Victoria, shit, excuse me. Maybe she is into like Baroque art or Victorian types of artwork, or neoclassical maybe. I see a lot of pencil-like I see a lot of pencil-like strokes here, and I do see that canvas texture. So I'm guessing she does play again with shit, with a variety of brushes again. And even at this stage, it still looks like an actual painting. Even the way she does like the background, it feels painted. Her work does remind me a bit of Jeff Simpson, just because of the subject matter. Jeff Simpson likes to does a lot of creatures, like weird creatures. And he does have a lean, like he's a bit artsy with the concepts. And Betty Jiang is kind of the same thing. And she also reminds me a bit of Greg Rutkowski, because Greg Rutkowski also likes the yellow, the golden yellow kind of look. If you check out his work, I did an art review of his work, and he does like to go back to that kind of golden kind of yellow color scheme. And he's also very textured, very, very gritty kind of painter. Now for Betty Jiang, you can still see that bit of grittiness, but it's not as much as Greg Rutkowski. And she does go for a more refined look in some parts. So her work does become a little more finished compared to, or not finished, but refined or more rendered in some areas at least, right? Nice line here. Rar. Oh, she did use the same background, so maybe she got this from some kind of abstract painting, and then she just used it to kind of start off the painting, essentially. Again, another mythological kind of creature here. The face looks like it's from or the head at least, it looks like it's from a goat, but the unicorn aspect is obviously from the unicorn horse creature concept. It has the tail of a lion, I would say. Fuck, why is there's something in my throat? Anyway, a nice princess here. Very, very classical looking, very, very angelic. Think Halo. Oh shit, maybe she does, or she did do an Evangelion study, and it's about angels, right? That kind of religious thing. So maybe this whole thing, or the Evangelion kind of films, did influence her, or maybe continues to influence her work. I don't know, maybe. Right? Very, very religious looking concepts. Very Egyptian eye thing here. And again, she likes the color. Is it a color? She likes the golden kind of look. Very, very high class. And again, if you zoom in, thankfully she does post like the full versions of her paintings. Look at how she still continues to go for that pencil kind of stroke. And that obviously comes from her graphite, traditional experience. Some kind of goat, very, very demonic, I would say, just because of the eyes. But I love the kind of fieriness that's coming from the bottom of this goat demon thing with a star. And the horns look very, very freaky. And she does the same thing with the backgrounds. They're very, very simple, almost flat. A bit of value variation. Maybe she does... it's probably from some kind of photo and she just expands it perhaps and just... She doesn't pay too much attention with it, but she does add a bit of that variation in terms of hues, a bit of hue variation and a bit of value variation, but that's pretty much it. It's not too strong. Here you can see a bit of suggestion in terms of the clouds. But even in the background, you can still see that kind of pencil-like back and forth strokes. Focusing on the face, and you can see that grittiness in her work, the canvas texture, the pencil-like strokes, right? Very, very interesting. And again, very golden yellow kind of lean. Here you have the yellow in the eyes, right? Kind of like a vampire. Oh, also in the ring and in this kind of cufflinks, right? Oh, a bit of blood, so maybe this guy is a vampire. Ooh. Women do like vampires. Another vampire concept perhaps. I'm guessing this is blood. And again, she does like that yellow golden kind of feel in her work. And look at how messy it is. Look at how impressionistic it is. And again, she likes that kind of pencil-like kind of approach where she goes back and forth, kind of like using an actual pencil. And it does add a lot of variety in the painting. Not everything has to be one bold brushstroke. And it feels more worked on if you have like multiple strokes, right? Yeah. Skull study. The background is kept simple. A very, very realistic way of painting. The values, the way it's done, it just feels more realistic. It doesn't seem flat at all. It seems like it's an actual skull. And she likes adding that bit of gold. Actually, I'm not sure what it's called. I think in Japan, there's this thing where if a vase is broken, you can patch it up with gold, and that's called something where it has that kind of beauty. When something is broken and you fix it up, you can make it beautiful still, or you can still make it somewhat appealing. I'm not sure God. I'm not sure what the term is, but it's pretty interesting. I can see a bit of that concept in her work here. Alright? Relax, Dave, relax. Here we see another example of how she likes that golden yellow, but she does focus it on just the specifics, or on a very specific kind of thing. Here it's kind of like a joint, and here it's one tooth. And I'm guessing this guy, or this skull, is from a vampire or something, because you can tell by the canine teeth here. And her tones are pretty natural, very brownish yellow types. And then she likes to highlight those special bits of details with gold, with that golden yellow kind of thing. Here it's kind of, you can still see a bit of that yellow, but it's not really that strong. The background again is kept simple. And I think it's a Great Dane. And you can tell if you zoom in, lots of pencil-like strokes. It's a great way to actually shade, do some rendering, and even define the edges. It's similar to Vlad Ganelli's approach. You can see him use a lot of pencil-like strokes in his work. Although he tends to use a slightly bigger brush sometimes. But yeah. Now here it's some kind of classical pose of some kind of royal person. There's more silver than gold in this piece. Maybe a bit in her fan and the frame behind her. You can tell what her lean is. Very, very vampire, royalty, ethereal, mythological subject matter. That's kind of her lean. Here you have another vampire. Reminds me a bit of the Priest film, because the bad guy had a cowboy hat, so Yeah, I love the way she did the background here. It's kind of a moonlit scene, right? Here we have something more contemporary looking, but you can still see her thing for gold, that golden yellow kind of look, right? Oh, here I can see a bit of a photo. It's kind of a photo that's enlarged or photo bashed in, but it's kind of hard to tell because she can paint over it pretty well. But that's just my guess, you know. Here we have a close-up. Lots of chaos here, lots of textures, lots of pencil-like strokes, and you can see here how she probably does play a lot with the layer effects in your in Photoshop to achieve this kind of overlaying of different hues and textures and strokes, right? Another character concept, very classical looking. Oh, her hands are different. They're kind of mechanical, I would say. Oh, it reminds me a bit of Violet Evergreen. Not Evergreen, Evergarden. Fuck. I think I mentioned I accidentally said Evergreen in one of my older videos, but there's this anime called Violet Evergarden. Yeah, she kind of lost both her arms and she had to obviously get them replaced, and she has these really awesome looking mech kind of arms and she looks pretty badass. I haven't watched like the final movie yet. I'm still waiting for it to come out in the the torrent sites. Yeah, but anyway, a wonderful set of textures here, lots of overlaying of different strokes, and again she likes to go back to that golden yellow kind of look. A very warm looking set of paintings here, right? Again, with that royalty aspect of it, lots of pencil-like strokes, different textures being overlaid over and over again. Very gritty. She likes to show off that canvas texture. A bit of photo texturing or photo bashing in the beginning to help save time, makes sense. But she does a good job of keeping it low. Or at least, keeping it unnoticeable, right? Here we have two horses. Now this guy's thick. Yeah. I love the way she did the clouds here in the background. Oh, you can actually see her use a bit of some kind of flat directional brush, because you can see the brush spacing here. It kind of jumps whenever she does like a sharp corner, right? And it works. I think she does sharpen her painting after, kind of like Greg Rutkowski, because both of them do have that sharpness in their final paintings, right? Again, it does still lean to that warmer side. You can tell in the background, in the sky, and obviously here in the water it's a bit cool, and even here in the greens, but most of it, even the clouds, are kind of warm, very yellowish, golden yellowish, right? Now this one's another graphite sketch, I'm guessing. Oh, it's not. It's a digital painting, but it maybe started out as a graphite sketch, and then she did add this kind of blood splatter. Maybe something just happened, aliens perhaps. Yeah. Here we have another head concept of this babe, like a classical looking babe. Look at that. It's almost like a pastel. Obviously the pastel would be like a very thin, small pastel pencil, but it looks cool. I love the way she did the background, very artsy. And she likes wings a lot in her work, but it's still on the warmer side. Her edge control is pretty cool. Look at how the edge of this nose is pretty clear, right? It's not vague. It's kind of refined, right? And she does it through her pencil-like gritty strokes. This one actually looks a bit like the Twilight guy, the Patterson, James Pattinson, the guy who's the Batman dude now, right? Just look at the halfway top, or The eyes, look at the eyes, the way it's kind of formed reminds me of him. And even the hairstyle, and even the forehead, and even the ears. But the mouth is kind of off for me. But yeah, lots of gold. The whole thing is set in a warm tone, right? She even spent some time painting the the painting. It's a paintception. Yeah. And I may actually make this the thumbnail for this art review episode of Betty Jiang. Again, she likes wings. And look at how she did the wings. It's super refined, right? Is it photobashed? I don't think so. I think she just painted this. Yep. I love how she was able to blend the wings onto her back, right? And going back to that kind of angelic, kind of mythological, ethereal kind of lean, and seeing that crown and those pearls, there's a bit of royalty thing going on here. Right? Flowers, sword. Maybe she's obviously some kind of angelic being. And I like how it gets kind of sharper here. You can see that there's a bit more contrast in each kind of feather in this area, and then as you go further out, it becomes slightly more vague. I mean, you can still tell which feather is which, because you can see based on the dark brush strokes. It kind of suggests that there are multiple, feathers here. But yeah, very, very awesome looking concept, right? And it's very, very realistic. And the background, she likes to keep it simple, and she likes to go for more often than not, a dark background. And you can see this in a lot of classical paintings where they start with a dark background, sometimes a black kind of canvas, and then they paint in the lights. So that's it for this art review of Betty Jiang's work. I do recommend you follow her on Instagram and also check her out obviously on her ArtStation. And I will also again be linking her interview with the Level Up dudes on YouTube in the description below. So thank you for watching. Keep drawing, keep painting, and stay free.